My name's Jackie Brooks and I am a cross-college tutor. I've been here since the beginning of December, so it's just 3 months. I love it. Yeah, I do. I love it. Because I get to be a teacher without all the kind of heavy teachery stuff that feels a little bit irrelevant. So I really like it, and I get to know my students on a level that maybe other teachers don't have time to. So 3 months in, I find myself bumping into people in the corridor and go, oh, how's that going with your English? I notice things aren't great, and I can actually have the time to do that. And they feel like they can come and talk to me about stuff like that as well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I moved to Luton from London, which my children were 11 and 2 at the time. And I moved because it was really expensive in London and very busy. And I lived in a part of London where my oldest son, I thought, was actually on the cusp of either being really great or getting into people who would maybe take him down a road that wasn't so great. And when I came to Luton, just wandering around, people were really friendly compared to people in London. Like, I met a man when I went to view a house, and he kind of walked by and he went, hello. And I went, what? And then he went, and I thought, oh my gosh, all he did was say hello to me. But I was like, what does he want? Why is he saying hello to me? And I just thought, it's so nice and refreshing actually that he didn't know me and he just wandered by and he was like, hi. And I was just like, I like that. And I want my kids to grow up in that. And so that's one of the things I've liked is community. There's a real strong sense of community. I've always had really lovely neighbours, people who've helped me with my kids. Yeah, I find Luton a really lovely place to live. Not everybody agrees with me, but for me it's been good. I would like to see more provision for children and young people, mainly because we complain about them being outside kicking balls, but we've cut everything that, pretty much all the youth clubs are closed. There's nowhere for them to go that's not home. And for some of those children, like I worked in a place before where we ran a drop-in for young people, but it was a charity, so it's not, it's funded by whatever donations come in, and that place was like a home for those kids, and there's not enough of that. So it wasn't a youth club in the sense that you have to come here and we've got to make you learn this skill so that we can say, oh, we've ticked this box, and yes, they're doing that. It was literally a place, a home away from home. And so they would just come if they wanted to. If they didn't want to, they didn't have to be there, but they would come regularly because they would say things like, this feels like my home. And I think we need more spaces like that in Luton, definitely. And I'd like to see more projects that look at linking our older generation with the younger generation and kind of building understanding, because I think there's a real wall between them, and they kind of feel, older people feel like, oh, they're just making trouble. Younger people feel, oh, they're just miserable and they don't want us to have fun. And actually they've got a lot more in common than they realise. So yeah, I think that sort of thing, definitely. I would want it to be run in, not just in the town centre, because that's an issue I think as well, where people do lots of things in the town centre, but you've got children who live out in, say, Lucy Farm. They maybe can't travel into town, or it's too late in the evening. So I'd want there to be something kind of local to each area. But ideally I'd run it through schools and run it as a proper programme. So they'd start with a programme of doing things like philosophy thinking skills, reflecting on those things, like actually do we need to know older people better and stuff like that, building those sorts of skills, and then helping them to kind of design a project of their own where they maybe go into a local elderly people's home, or do something where they invite all their grandparents in, do you know what I mean, and do it like that, so that it's a part of what they're doing in school, but then it extends outside into the community. I think that's how I would do it off the top of my head. I think the only thing I would want to say is that, and when I say Luton is misunderstood, is because I think people look at Luton and just think we're a bit of a dumpy town, and nothing good comes out of it. But I've worked with, by now I would say, probably hundreds of young people, and the majority of them, even the ones who were struggling when I met them, I've got guys that I've met 10, 15 years later. A guy kind of sort of accosted me in the street. You're Jackie? Yes, I am. Do you remember me? No. And then he told me, I was like, I used to go to this school and we used to do this, I used to come and see you. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I do remember you. How are you doing? I'm at college now. And I really remember those times that we spent together. So stuff like that. I had a text sent to me by my son who was out partying and met a girl, and he sent me through and he said, this girl told me her name, She's now 23 and she just wants to say that if it wasn't for you, she wouldn't have gone to high school. I don't remember her. Like, I don't remember her, but something I did made a difference. And I think that's what keeps this whole kind of passion alive, is whatever I do now, even in tutorials, if it's not appreciated, I'm hoping that maybe 5-10 years from now, people will go, oh yeah, I remember we talked about this. And I do have an opinion, and actually I do want to make a difference. So, yeah, Luton's great. The young people in Luton are great. So that's my message.